Okie dokie. Come on. Son, I'd like you to step away from this vector and get into a different coordinate pronto.
Paradigm of absolute control. And that's why we're just out here doing simple things, pointing out that we're meant to be in nature and be natural, and this is where we find the source that God made to transcend the New World Order. And that's why they want to try to keep us out of it.
I'm angry. I've had enough of these people. They're a bunch of Christian murderers scum. They're on giant death factories keeping babies alive and selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people? I go out and face these scum. They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green looking skin and they run around screaming, we love Satan, we wanna eat babies. I have them on video. Hillary's in the creepy weird sick stuff man. She sleeps in the same room with that creepy weird woman whose mother wears a hood over her head. What the hell? That woman number one is ugly. Imagine how bad she smells, man. I'm told her and Obama just stink. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur. Literal vampire pot and the goblins are hobbling round coming after us. My spirit gets close to that evil and I feel it go. We're such self-centered crap. We don't even notice hell itself rising up against us. Millions of pardoned people of the very worst type, and I'm so pissed. We're gonna stab your daughter at the mall. We're gonna stab your wife, your son. We're gonna stab you with a butcher knife, and then the police chief is gonna say, we love our Somalis, we love our Muslims. Oh, they're so good, oh, they're so sweet.
I was watching Fox News as I worked out this.
All right. First of all, no one believes you work out, Alex. So don't even try to tell us what you heard. There's a reason I played that one this morning because we are back. It feels like we are back in 2001, like with how much everybody has decided that they just hate Muslim people or people from Iran, people from Palestine, people from Lebanon. It doesn't matter. They're just anybody from any Muslim nation, anybody with a slightly Middle Eastern last name, people are flipping their lids about, because mostly recently between our ruthless and freaking detrimental to human society attacks by bombing and people's outrage over New York City electing a mayor, I guess, a mayor with a Muslim name. So it's been pretty fucking ridiculous, and the racists are showing their whole asses. And yeah, even people in office are like, yeah, hey, no, we can't have brown people in here. We can't have non-Christian, non-white people running the show. Where's my eye look all messed up over here? Oh, my eye makeup looks like kind of rough. I got up late. No. Anyway, good morning. Good morning, my beauties and bees. I'm not going to talk about like politics and stuff, so don't worry. I just wanted to get that out. Get that He's just the Democrat, the Dem nominee. Exactly. Yeah, he hasn't even won the election. He's gonna win the election though. The way things are going, all they're doing is alienating anybody who's not Christian with their behavior right now. Which I mean, keep doing it because it works in our favor, but it's still gross. So it's gross to see. All right, I'm gonna shut up about that now though, because that is not what this show is all about. Fix my hat too. Man, I'm all over the place this morning. I'll say, last night I started a new series, okay? A new solo series that I do where I look at the players in these paranormal investigation games, whether they're cryptid hunters, exorcists, paranormal researchers, ghost hunters, monster hunters, psychic detectives. We're going to do it all, and we're going to go through some of their best cases. Last night we did and I'm calling the show the 14 Files. But last night I did a show on the Highgate Vampire. But if anybody watched it, it's really much more about David Ferret and Sean Manchester, the two occult figures who wanted to battle for the right to say they vanquished said vampire. That's what the story was really about. It was really about those two men. So if you didn't watch that, it was on last night. It ran for about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes or so. Go check it out. We had a fun time. Lots of vampires. There were vampires, and they were turning into giant spiders, and they were skulking around, turning into mist. It was a wild ride. So if you missed it, that was the good stuff. That was really what the direction I'm trying to take the channel in, honestly, is to focus more on engagement with other people who are out there doing this. And I know that David Ferrent's dad, but Sean Manchester's not. And Sean Manchester is a nasty, with Third Reich memorabilia all over his place. So what a creep, and he's still alive. So come at me, Mr. Manchester. I dare you. But next week we are going to be doing on Friday anyway. On Friday we'll be doing Ed and Lorraine Warren and the real werewolf of London. So we'll be returning to London again. And I know I had trouble with my mic last time I switched over it, so let me know if my mic sounds like I'm coming from a different room. It looks like it's right. Let me see. If I tap it, it'll tell me. Yes, okay. All right. Made sure I had the right microphone hooked up. Because last night, when I did that show, for the first 5 minutes I was on speaking to you all on this mic, I can't tell which. I can never tell if it's coming through, but it was not coming through there, and I had to switch it over, coming through here, because this is a good microphone. I've had it for years. This is my second one I have out like this, but they're good microphones. But yeah, so next week, we'll be talking about the actual case of the Werewolf of London, a real case of lycanthropy. On so far, I'm going to keep it on Friday night for now. If I need to change it, I will. I'm probably going to stop premiering CrypticCorner, though. I don't seem to be doing very good with the premieres. I don't know if just my audience is doesn't really dig on premieres very much. They don't do terribly, and half the time I don't show up for them, so that's my own fault too. But it's because on Friday night, Ben's got the trivia night, and then there's always something going on Friday nights. But what was I saying? I'm losing my train of thought. So I'm probably going to switch over all the CrypticCorner solo releases just as standard releases, unless they have a special holiday or something they're associated with. Then I'll premiere them on that day. But other than that, they're just going to go back to being standard releases. And I will still premiere Weekend Weird. Hi, Ben. And I'm still going to premiere Weekend Weird. Is my chat doing that weird thing again? Yes. Why does it do that? I didn't change anything to make it say, oh, you know what? Everybody needs to be on as their handles instead of their actual screen name. It's kind of wild. Look at that. Is Dr. Ben Hamilton's full name on there. We got Deep Arcs with some numbers behind her name. yeah, so premieres are iffy. If they do well, they help the video a lot, but if not, the algorithm kills the video's reach. Right, that's what I'm thinking. I think that if nobody shows up to the initial premiere, it doesn't fall into the algorithm for anybody to see it after that. And on Friday nights, it's kind of touch and go depending on what's going on that weekend with whoever. Because sometimes I'll do the premiere and I'll have just a less than 5 people in there the whole time. Other times, I will I'll do the premiere and I'll have a full audience like I'm doing a live from the Hive show. So it really does depend on what's going on. I've tried different time slots and stuff. Nothing's working with it, and it's not helping me make any money on this channel, which I know is not my ultimate goal. But right now I'm kind of broke because I no longer work at TransPerfect where I was working. It just it was costing me too much to commute over there, and the person who I was writing with is no longer there anymore, so I didn't have any way to save that money. So I was basically working for bringing home half my daily wages because I was spending half of it on Ubers. So I'm not there anymore, but to compound the issue even more, I was caught up in the issue with Facebook. So I'm not any of the Meta apps. I'm currently locked out of or suspended on. So that's Threads, Instagram, and Facebook, which unfortunately is where I do most of my networking for both this content and my adult content. So, yeah, that couldn't have happened at a worse time, and I don't know. I don't have any idea if I'm getting it back or not. So, just to give you the heads up on that, if you were used to communicating with me or clicking on my links on Facebook, I apologize. I am not able to share them there right now. If somebody else wants to share links to Live from the Hive on Facebook, I'd appreciate it. But I don't have that ability to do so right now because I am locked out. And it's been since the 25th, so we're on day 3, and I said it'd take just over a day to get it review my appeal. But it's not really an appeal because it was a glitch that kicked off thousands of people. There's news articles and stuff about it on different tech platforms and stuff. There were thousands of us that were bumped out. Thousands of Facebook groups were also closed. So just keep that in mind. If that's how you're used to communicating with me, I'm not there anymore, which really sucks. That's how I communicate with most people. So yeah, keep that in mind. All right. And before we get into it, we're already overdue for Cryptic Corner by 3 minutes, but I want to look at the polls real quick. Got to check those polls out and see what's going on. Check the polls. Yeah. All right. So this week's polls for Weekend Weird, which is the segment coming up later in the show, were God's Healing Springs, Charming the Serpent, Encapsulated Creatures, and Behold the Sky Trumpets. So the Sky Trumpets did win, which was something that was brought up with the Apostate Sisters. So I'm hoping Nancy and Patty might pop in, but they usually when they show up, and same with like John Hudson and stuff, they click on my link in Facebook. So that sucks really bad that I'm not on there right now. Anyway, and then for Cryptic Corner, we have Loab, the AI cryptid. We have the Nandy Bear, the African cryptid. We had the Lyran, the feline alien race. And then we have Oscar, the Beast of Busco, who's been on the list for a long time. But I'm kind of glad he held out till midsummer because this is the perfect time of year to talk about big lakes or lakes with giant snapping turtles. When I say lakes, I'm being generous about Folk Lake, and we'll talk about that too. But I do want to let you know that I added in there Mikinaak with Oscar, the Beast of Busco, because they both have similar traits, and Mikinaak is sort of topical here, so we're going to look at that too, and it's very, very similar. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to head on over to Cryptic Corner. I will see you guys there in just a minute. All right. Hello, my beauties and bees, and welcome. Oh, I forgot my intro. Hold on. Why did this happen? What did bad things happen to good people? No. What happened? Ooh. That's not what I was looking for. Damn it. Hold on. Where you at, baby? All right. Anyway, I'm not going to mess with it. Good morning, my beauties and bees, and welcome to another installment of Cryptic Corner, where we explore the unexplained, the supernatural, the paranormal and hidden, the alien, the accursed, and the forbidden. I am your host, Miss Bumblebee. And today, we are looking at giant snapping turtles of North America. The most famous, of course, being Oscar, the Beast of Busco from Busco, Indiana. But we're also going to be heading up to the Great Lakes region to check out some modern sightings of giant snapping turtles. So stick around and hope you are here for the ride. But I don't like to take these rides alone, so I found a new channel. I believe it's a new channel. I don't think we've ever been here before. I like her kind of art style here. She does this like anime avatar character and has like spooky shit. But this is Wicked Encounters, just a local cryptid sharing information on the paranormal for you, for your listening pleasure. But yeah, it's a 5K subscriber, so it's a pretty decent channel. I mean, bigger than my channel. And they got lots of videos on cryptids and conspiracies and folklore and stuff like that. And here's a Van Meter visitor we covered recently. Jesus of Siberia. What? Yeah, 31 days of wicked horror. Yeah, so doesn't look like... Oh, it looks like most recently they did the Mothman video just a couple days ago. Just yesterday. Well, you get him, girl. I did Mothman last year for Christmas because if you don't know, Mothman is a Christmas cryptid. Like how Die Hard is a Christmas movie, Mothman is a Christmas cryptid. So keep that in mind because that's absolutely true. I will take no substitute. Mothman is the John McClane of cryptids. Oh no. Did you kill Bugbot? Owie. Ah! No, Bugbot remembered your name that time. Remembered trees too. All right. So, yeah, let's dig in. Let's sink our teeth in to the downtown Busco. Welcome to... Actually, I'm doing this really southerny accent, but this far east. It doesn't come up that southern accent doesn't come up that north. It only comes up that far north if you follow the Appalachia or if you follow the Mississippi. One or the other. You can't follow both at the same time, though. I made up a Magic Zoo Boat song and video that will show on tonight on Saturday Night with Atheist. Dave, I'm a musician, so yeah, if you want somebody to make a song for you, I got a guitar. I'm way better than AI. No, I'm not better than AI by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm a real person. I don't know. Anyway, let's go. Because I've used AI stuff too. I'm just teasing you. Like I do. There's still some AI art and stuff on the channel. I'm trying to phase my usage of AI out. But we'll see what happens.
Nestled in the small town of Churubusco, Indiana, lies a mysterious creature that has sparked curiosity and folklore for decades. Believed to be a massive turtle or reptilian beast, it has become...
Is the audio okay on the video, though? I can turn it up a little bit more. Let's do a little bit more.
An enduring legend in local lore, drawing visitors and researchers alike to uncover the truth behind its existence. Let's delve into the captivating tale and explore the myths, legends, and facts surrounding the Beast of Busco. Hello everyone and welcome to Wicked Encounters, where we explore just what goes bump in the night. I'm your host Allie, and today we are going to discuss the Beast of Busco. The Beast of Busco is said to be an enormous snapping turtle that was first seen back...
And she does say Busco. I've always heard it pronounced Busco because the name of the town is Churubusco, not Churubusco. I believe. I might be saying it wrong. I say things wrong all the time, but I believe I'm saying it right and she's saying it wrong. Good morning, Native Atheist. You got your name all weird, too. Look at that. All y'all got these weird, like, got numbers and shit behind your names. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. It wasn't doing that, like, when I went to Ben's chat last night, it wasn't doing that. It was only doing that in mine. Oh, it's a little dark in here. Oh, that's a little too much. A little too much. Let's mellow that down. There we go. There we go.
Back in 1898. Now, wait. This is seriously massive and cryptid-worthy. I swear. It's one of the more interesting Indiana folklore out there when it comes to beasties, so just bear with me.
I like turtles.
Said to weigh...
Fucking right, me too. I grew up loving turtles. One of my first pets was a turtle. Red-eared slider. I don't like it. If YouTube changed it yesterday, they need to change it fucking back. I don't like it. But yeah, I had a red-eared slider, and then we had that we caught wild, and we kept it in a kiddie pool when I was like, I couldn't have been more than 4 or 5, right? The first like real pet that I had besides the standard family dog that we had was we had a green anoles. Which we got at the pet store across town. But we did have a red-eared slider, and I was also super into Ninja Turtles, of course. Had like a big crush on Raphael. Why? I don't know. I wanted to be Venus de Milo. Or not, her name wasn't Venus de Milo. What was the salamander's name? I can't remember. Anyway, we also did catch snapping turtles from time to time. And in the spring, our little town in Missouri would be, there was just something that would happen around like late May where all the snapping turtles would go out and would get out and start roaming around, presumably looking for nesting places, but they would wander into town. Yes, I lived near there. It's Busco, not Busco. I thought so. I have 5 baby snapping turtles in an aquarium right now. They hatched in a mud puddle. Are you fucking serious, trees? Ah! You better share some pictures of them. They sound adorable. Baby snapping turtles are the cutest things. Baby alligator snapping turtles are freaking adorable because they're mostly head. They just like a little... Anyway, we got a lot of stuff to cover.
Over 500 pounds and measuring 6 feet across, the beast is said to live in the small Folk Lake that is near Busco, Indiana. It was first discovered in 1898 by a farmer named Oscar Fulk, who owned several acres of land and the lake that took up his name. This thing was a monster, hard to ignore with a powerful beak-like jaw. He tried to catch the massive turtle many times.
Oscar... and this is in the 1890s right now, but Oscar was allegedly up to 500 pounds, and someone might say that's ridiculous for a freshwater turtle. Alligator snapping turtles do generally they stay about 250 pounds is about the biggest you're going to get out of them. Still a massive fucking turtle. I've seen them that big. They used to have them at the St. Louis Zoo with their shells where I can't even exemplify how their shells were. I can't even show you. This does no justice to it. But like it wouldn't have been able to fit into the city issued plastic trash cans. Just to give you some perspective, it'd be too wide to fit in there. Yeah, they're silver dollars. Yes, they're so little cute baby turtles. You're going to put one into a safe container and you're going to mail it to Bree. You're going to mail it to Bree, okay? And then I'm going to raise it as my baby. Because Clint's Reptiles has taught me the proper way to handle a snapping turtle now. So I don't have to worry about it. Isn't that awesome? If you haven't seen that, by the way, we've been doing it wrong like for decades. Everybody does it wrong because they're afraid of getting bit. There's a special way you hold the tail and rest it on your palm. There's a special way to hold a snapping turtle. Maybe I'll link that. Thank you, Robin. It's my new look. I'm doing this a hellbilly Barbie kind of look. So I really do enjoy it. I have spiky jewelry and stuff. I just didn't feel like putting it on this morning. I was slow going this morning.
With no luck, and later on tried telling others about his turtley neighbor, but eventually dropped it when it seemed no one was interested in hearing about it. The beast remained an elusive, rarely mentioned legend for half a century, save for the odd person who would go out from being told the tale secondhand.
This picture makes me feel like I have to address this this Folk Lake situation and the art that's being used to depict it here, because this is not Folk Lake. Folk Lake is nothing like this, because Folk Lake is absolutely tiny. For perspective, where I come from, I'm from Missouri, right? So I'm not like throwing shade or anything at anybody else's definition of a lake. But where I come from, this is not a lake. This is a pond. None of these are lakes. That's not a lake. That's not a lake. Right? And for scale, we have the road here, so you can see how wide the road is, right? So you know how tiny this is. There's some houses and stuff here too. So the houses should give you perspective of how freaking tiny this lake is. Now, I digress that the lake has been drained and the watershed has been adjusted here, so it's a little bit different. There's you can kind of see where the lake used to extend up into here, and the lake was drained too, and back up into the lake. The extent of the lake looks like it used to come out to here, maybe on the south end, out to here on the west end. And I imagine this was probably part of the lake too, because this is obviously artificial spillway right here that's been dredged for this lagoon. Now we can get down and see a bit, and if you stand at just the right angle, you can actually see Folk Lake. You can't get any closer than this though. So, but here's the lagoon that we were just looking at, right? And then Folk Lake's back in here. But Yeah, it's what we would not, in Missouri, we would not call this a lake. Right? This would not be considered a lake. It would be a pond. For sure. A pond shaped like Australia. But I just wanted to clarify on that because they use a lot of visuals in this video that makes it look like this is a big ass lake that this turtle's living in, and it's not.
And that Folk had spread, until it came back in the spotlight in 1948. Folk had sold his land to some new people, who he then shared the tale of the large turtle
Like a half a century later.
he had seen from time to time come up from the lake.
That's the most foul, cruel, and bad-tempered rodent you ever set eyes on.
And then in 1914,
But turtles aren't rodents, farmer.
there were reports from the new owners that they had seen it for themselves. When Gil Harris bought the property in 1947 and moved in with his family, a wife and son, he wasn't expecting those tales of a giant turtle allegedly living in his lake to be true. On July 27th of 1948...
Even that picture of a lake right there is too big. I had a pond behind my house bigger than this when I lived in Warren, Missouri. And we did have a big snapping turtle that lived in there. He wasn't Beast of Busco size, but he's pretty big. He's about as big as a that's probably why I use that example. He's as big as I could fit him in a trash can. Because we caught him a couple of times. Put him in a trash can and took pictures of him because he was big and spiky, but nowhere near this big. He probably weighed maybe 25 pounds or so.
Harris had let Ora Blue and Charlie Wilson, brother-in-laws of his, go out on the lake to fish. They had found themselves a decent enough spot, readied their line.
If, like me, you grow up in Redneckville, you're used to that, though, because people just, like, you go to someone's house and their dad has a snapping turtle in a trash can. Because they what they do is they keep them in there until they purge their system of waste and then they clean them and cook them and eat them.
Lines and waited for something to bite, and something definitely bit. Surfacing alongside their rowboat, a massive creature rose from the lake with their fishing lines in its mouth.
Jesus Christ! I warned you.
I've done it again.
I warned you, but did you listen to me? Oh, no, you knew it all, didn't you?
He's like I like to picture Oscar as more of a kaiju. 500 pounds is not a kaiju, but, you know. I mean, technically it is, though. Anything's a kaiju if it's monstrous. Oscar the Kaiju sounds adorable, though. He could be like, snappers are good eating. Imagine they probably taste like alligator. They live for a long time, though, so I have a hard time, like, thinking. But I feel that way about a lot of stuff that we eat as meat, so.
Described by the fishermen as having a head the size of a child and a back as broad as their boat, the waves rolled off of its shell as they would a rising submarine. The two quickly rowed back to shore, where they told Harris about their experience. Harris, of course, thought it more than likely to be a fisherman's tale. An exaggeration by his brother-in-laws, though the mentions of this mysteriously large turtle from family and others in the area started to make him believe that something could be off about the small lake. Then he caught a sighting for himself. In early autumn of 1948, Harris was helping a church minister by patching the man's roof.
I should do a Hogzilla episode. I don't think I have. Let me see. Hog? No. Pigs. No, I haven't. So I should do that. I'm gonna add that. That's what's gonna take the place on the poll this week. Thank you for the request. I'm gonna note that down somewhere so I don't forget. Where's my notepad? There it is. Hogzilla. Zilla. Alright.
While doing so, the minister pointed out to the lake where something was moving across the surface. From a distance, it was clearly something big, though they paid it no mind since they couldn't tell what the thing was that they saw. And it's not that odd to see odd shapes moving in the water. The next day, Harris and the...
Again, just keep in mind how tiny a body of water we're talking about here is. I wish I could get closer to it. Doesn't do it justice to see. It's just a pond. I mean, y'all are smart, I know. But like, because we can see a house. Like there's a house, there's a barn, there's a silo, right? So get an idea of how big things are. It's at what scale. Yeah, so this lake is probably I want to say 80 meters across right here as the longest point from here to here. It looks like it's about 80 meters. Not big. Again, it used to be bigger, but it was never an actual lake.
The minister noticed the shape again, though this time it was swimming in the opposite direction. Figuring the lake wasn't too far from their location, a half-mile at most, they decided to check out what exactly it was that was in the water. By the time they reached the lake...
How were they seeing it from so far away? A half-mile away. And Indiana's pretty flat. My main thing is how forested it is. Unless... Like, I can't get a good angle on it from anywhere, but they're seeing stuff from a mile away. Were they? Like, it's all thickly forested. Like, there's no easy way to see the body of water. It's surrounded. The best way you can see, that I can see, is this artificial bite here cut out for this dredged reservoir. I can see the water there, but you can't see it from anywhere else. And Indiana's not like Montaigne. So it's like they were sitting on a mountain looking down at it. It's even surrounded by lowlands, as you can see. Clark Chapman Ditch. There's a ditch dredged around the whole thing. The whole thing. There's this on this side. And then on this side, there's the roads. It's all flat. I don't know how they would have saw it from that far away, but I digress.
The creature had disappeared. Not being deterred, they got in a boat and went out onto the water. The two looked down in opposite sides of the boat to find the shape that they had seen from the rooftop. After a while, the minister exclaimed that he saw it. At the same time, Harris said that he saw it while on the other side of the boat. Now surely that can't be, exclaimed the minister. But Harris says it was, as he saw the tail right in front of him. Well, began the minister, there's its head right there. The two with their boat had found themselves right on top of a massive turtle. After that initial run-in, Harris claimed he saw the turtle quite often afterwards, and even took his son on a boat during one sighting to get close to the massive creature. When they were able to get their rowboat close enough, Harris had the bright idea to reach out and touch its tail. The beast reacted pretty much as you'd expect, lurching and thrashing away from the intrusion, which caused their boat to capsize. Fortunately, neither of them were hurt.
I wouldn't be surprised if a huge alligator snapping turtle wasn't capable of capsizing a boat. But the problem with alligator snapping turtles being responsible for these sightings is let me see if I can pull this up. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. Yeah, here's the problem. Here's the problem with alligator snapping turtles in Indiana and the upper Great Lakes. This is their range, right? This is where they live. And there have been, introductions like there you see, it's got that cited. Non-native introductions to different areas. But, and yeah, if we pay attention to where the beast of Busco is, Indiana. Let's see. Oh, I'm upside down. That's why it looks weird. All right, so north of Fort Wayne. All right, so on this, north of Fort Wayne is going to be like in this area here. But, the range of the turtle, it follows Mississippi up that high, but it doesn't go that high out east, right? I digress.
Hurt in the encounter. By 1949, Harris had shared the many sightings he had, making locals begin to make attempts at catching the turtle in regular intervals, though all of the attempts failed. In the first week of March, about 10 or 11 men made an attempt at catching the beast with no...
You're gonna need a bigger... I would have... If that had happened to me, if I had been in that rowboat, right, when those guys saw that, I would have said that. I said, you're gonna need a bigger boat. I want to be 30 to 50 feral hogs for Halloween a couple years ago. I couldn't get enough bacon. The lake near my town reportedly has a monster. Is it like Tin Killer or like Thunderbird? Because yeah, we do need to cover that as well. The Oklahoma octopus. One of my roommates is from Oklahoma, so he probably would like that one too. Where the heck is that lake? I'm seeking if I can swing by on my way to Kentucky and find it. Are you talking about the... Which lake? Like Folk? The Folk Pond is in, yeah, it's not going to be on your way to Kentucky. Well, I mean, you would have to go out of your way. It's up by Fort Wayne. I was actually going to go here when I was, before it got canceled because of COVID, there was that con that was going to be in Fort Wayne, and I was scheduled to go there, and I was going to visit, Churubusco. And I was gonna do my picture with the turtle guy too. They have like statues and stuff, like in the town, and in the parks and stuff. The town really embraced its cryptid. Look, they call that a lake too. I will say that's more of a lake than that. Yeah, this is an actual lake. Yeah, there we go. Here's a lake. They do know what a lake looks like. Papa's Resort is on a lake. But this, not so much. These are ponds, y'all. Them's ponds, not lakes, Pa.
No luck, though they were said to have successfully cornered it off the shore in a trap made up of stakes and chicken wire in roughly 10 feet of water. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, the turtle was much too strong and broke through. Though one would-be captor told a different story, quoted as saying, "There were about 10 or 11 of us, had him in a wire..."
She's gonna do an accent here.
"Fence, and we had him a-comin' and muck, you know. We knew we had him in there because we could see him a little, and we pulled him pretty well to the edge. I think if they'd kept on, of course they was pullin' a ton of muck along with it, you know. They was pullin' hard, and somebody spoke, 'Well, let's let him go. We can never pull him out.' And I think if they'd kept on, they probably would have. But he was a big turtle." Another man named Del Weingartner had supposedly gotten film of the turtle from his position from a tree, and farm worker Dick Zollman claimed he saw...
I looked. I couldn't find it anywhere, so...
the turtle early on in their attempted capture, sunning himself 10 feet out from the shoreline. Zollman wanted to go out and put an oar alongside of the animal to see just how long he was, but Harris wouldn't have it, as he was worried the action would scare the beast away. Harris was said to be very concerned about making sure none of the would-be turtle catchers hurt the animal. This concern led to many plans being vetoed in how the traps could be laid out. Harris
you don't want to kill it, and turtles can, despite their armored tank-like appearance, they are able to be killed. We're going to talk about that. So I guess we're not, because I nixed that from because I decided that the Hokkien turtle deserved its own breeze bestiary. So we will talk about that at some point, but I don't do two sections on the same type of animal, so we won't have the Hochheim turtle in the Breeze Bestiary this week. So, but it is on the docket now, but there's a legacy there. And when it comes to 500-pound turtles,
The lake, so he had the final say in who was allowed to do what in it. They also began referring to the beast as Oscar, little nod to the initial farmer who had seen it.
Well, it's always the same. I always tell them, do they listen to me?
Though some also say that Oscar is just a common turtle name in the area, which, how many turtles do you guys have if you have a literal common name for turtles? Like, that's just kind of, I mean, all right.
Oscar's a good name for a turtle. I don't know. It seems like a turtle name. Like Sheldon seems like a turtle name. So, yeah.
Right? Dogs and Max, I guess. Another attempt was made at capturing Oscar, but rather than cornering and ensnaring him, a large cage made out of pipes was used. The turtle was able to escape, though, as the cage was too small to go over the whole of it. The group thought that by putting rails along the entrance, the cage would be able to hold the large animal.
That's a hammock.
But the following morning, those rails were pushed aside, and Oscar was long gone. Quite a few people had made attempts at catching Oscar by this point, and national media had begun taking an interest in him when a young reporter from the United Press International sent the story all across the country. Honestly, the story couldn't have come at a better time, as America was between wars and people were desperate for happy news stories. The article of attempts made to catch a giant turtle, well, it did just that. These coverages throughout 1949 had prompted thousands of people to gather at Churubusco in hopes to...
Monsters are good for tourism. Ask the people of Louisiana, Missouri. Ask the people of Point Pleasant, West Virginia. I don't know why the people of Loveland, Ohio don't capitalize on their frog.
See or capture the turtle themselves. And with some news stories poking fun at the idea of a giant monster turtle, Harris took it very personal as a slight against his reputation, dumping even more of his own money to find the beast, developing different traps with the local mechanic to try and capture him, and had also hired professional trappers and divers. The media was continuing to cover...
Divers, again, in this little-ass pond. Divers. Can you even see in that water?
The different attempts, and it was becoming hard to tell what was fact from fiction, with journalists just lying about what was going on, sightings, capture attempts, and exaggerating on Oscar's size more and more. In April, the hunt appeared to finally be over when 2 Indianapolis men claimed to have caught the turtle, but it was very easy for all to see that what they had was a sea turtle they had purchased to try and cash in on the Beast of Busco craze.
Imagine a time frame where it was legal to just like buy a giant sea turtle.
It did give Harris an idea of potentially...
Good morning.
...using a female sea turtle to lure Oscar out, but it seemed he was a bit shy and didn't make an appearance for his potential girlfriend. Harris had...
I might consider that a female sea turtle is going to be about as attractive to a alligator snapping turtle as a rhesus macaque is to you. Not saying there aren't people out there who would love that monkey. My daughter names her turtle Sheldon. Yeah.
Had even tried to drain the lake through the use of his tractor and a sump pump. The story of Oscar had...
It's not a lake. For fuck's sake. It's a pond. It's just a pond. My mom built a pond bigger than this for Marion County in Missouri. And told them that it wouldn't hold water, but they built it anyway. You can go look at it. Actually, we can go look at it right now. I'll show you the pond my mom designed. Yeah, it's right here. No. And it didn't end up holding water. Look at that. That's what was how big it was supposed to be. But it's about the same size. We're gonna call this a lake. Yeah, anyway. All right. Back to Oscar.
Started to fade, but this new attempt caught people's
Do
attention.
not try to navigate Google Maps like I do. I am a professional.
Again, making them flock Harris's property once more. Where once people were free to come witness the attempts, Harris was now charging a fee, as the number of people who had come onto his property had damaged his crops something fierce, and the various methods he'd used to try and catch the beast had hit his wallet hard. Harris had used over 2,000 gallons of gas, reducing the once 7-acre lake to a mere acre. Locals believed that perhaps the now fully dubbed Beast of Busco was hibernating in the mud. Finally, though, on October 13th...
So, the lake, they're claiming the lake's about an acre and it was 7 acres, but when I look at it, I don't know if there's 7 acres there to fill. Maybe there is. And again, I do acknowledge that it used to be bigger. You can see that it used to come out to here and come out to here, and there's a remnants of it down here. It doesn't look like it ever went any further north than that, though. I don't have a real good beat on the topography, but this section here may have, and there's that Clark Chapman ditch, right, that runs around the whole perimeter of the damn thing. But, you know.
1949, the beast made its final appearance when, in plain view of 200 people, he put on his most spectacular show when he leaped out of the water to feast on the live ducks set atop a trap. Of course, he wasn't caught. After this, the muck covered...
He leaped. Are we claiming that the snapping turtle breached like a dolphin? I can see him lunging like a crocodile. I've seen videos of snapping turtles eating. There's a video of a snapping turtle taking out a porcupine, like that was sitting on a log, like it's a freaking crocodile. It was wild. I won't show it because it's pretty graphic.
Lake bottom took its toll on the pump, wearing it out and breaking down the tractor. Harris abandoned any further hunting attempts after that. He had contracted appendicitis, and during his recovery, rain had come and refilled the lake. All of the time and money Harris spent hunting for the turtle had caused his farm to fail, leading to...
I've had appendicitis before. It's rough. My teacher, because I was in high school at the time, wouldn't even let me go to the bathroom, though. And they're like, no, if you go to the bathroom, you got to take a tardy. And I have an appendicitis attack.
the family to need to sell the property, and the new owners of the land refused to allow further searching of the lake for the Beast of Busco. But that hasn't stopped the legend from living on. Since 1950, Busco has held an annual festival in June called Turtle Days, an event complete with a parade, a pageant for Miss Turtle Days herself, 5K race, carnival, a pie eating contest, turtle races, vendors, and much, much more. All in honor of their new mascot, the Beast of...
What I hate most about how AI creates the Beast of Busco is they always give him freaking teeth. Turtles don't have teeth. It's one of the defining characteristics of a turtle. Everybody's like, oh, turtle, shell. That's the defining characteristic. Also, no turtle has teeth. Like, at all.
of Busco, which has tourists from all over come to attend the 4-day event. Busco also has a small concrete statue of a turtle on the sidewalk at the main intersection of its center, so that they can always remember the legend that gave them national attention for the year of 1949. Still, we can't help but wonder.
So, there's more than just that statue, though. There's a more cartoony statue that's in one of the parks. So a lot of the businesses have little statues and turtles outside of their businesses and have stuff with turtle in the name.
Whatever happened to Oscar? Could a turtle of the Beast of Busco's size actually have ever existed? According to Churubusco turtle expert Rusty Reed, the answer is yes, though maybe not to the insanely massive size of legend. If Oscar was a real turtle, he most likely had to have been an alligator snapping turtle. The world record for the common snapper is 70 pounds, but the much larger alligator snapping turtle has a recorded weight of 236 pounds, with a legend of a 403-pound specimen having been found in the Neosho River of Kansas in 1937. Alligator snapping turtles perform warmer climates, but they have been spotted wandering north as they get older, and with gaining about a pound per year, the larger specimens are typically found north from their usual stomping grounds. That being said, Reed claimed that if an alligator snapping turtle did get as far as Indiana, it would have to be massive for a turtle. But there's no way it would have been the size of a dining room table or car as claimed. A more likely reason for this...
There's no way, because, like, there are giant soft-shelled turtles that reach 500 pounds. The Hochheim turtle that I mentioned before, they're the biggest freshwater turtles in the world, and they do reach weights of up to 500 pounds. So that's like a real thing that does happen. It does exist in nature.
The size being given would be that snapping turtles have proportionally larger heads than most turtles, and it can cause people to overestimate their actual body size. To back this up, there is no claimed sighting of anyone having seen the Beast of Busco fully out of water, making the claim much more likely to simply be an exaggeration. As to whatever happened to the Beast of Busco,
even if he is like just 250 pounds or so, even if he's half the weight that they're talking about, that's a huge turtle. Especially in Indiana, where that's typically not the range of this animal, right?
Well, he hasn't been seen in over 60 years. Some theorize that perhaps it had used an underground channel to make its way to another lake, though this is unlikely since there's no proof to show that Falk Lakes has any underground channels linking it anywhere else.
Because Falk Lake is a fucking pond.
Especially with the many feet of muck that makes up its flooring. The other theory, one Reeds believes to be more accurate, is that in Harris's attempt at draining the lake, the beast burrowed itself into the lake bottom in an attempt at escaping, and in doing so, it suffocated. We may never know for sure whatever happened to the Beast of Busco. There are chances that it may even still be alive to this day. As with all turtles, snappers can leave exceedingly long lives, with claims of up to 400 years. We can at least be sure that Churubusco will continue.
The 400 years. Well, a snapping turtle that big could be a super centurion, though, for sure.
You celebrating their turtly neighbor for years to come. But what do you think? Do you think the Beast of Busco was real? Could it have been as large as Harris claimed? Do you think there's a chance it could still be alive to this day? Let me know in the comments. I read them all for future video ideas and to see how many other people enjoy learning about spooky stuff like myself. If you want to see what I release in the future, consider subscribing, liking this video, clicking the bell, and sharing it with others. Many of my videos are thanks to suggestions given to me, so feel free to let me know what you'd like to see covered next. If you'd like to support me in other ways, consider...
Alright, so this was Wicked Encounters. We may revisit her. I did enjoy this channel. I am gonna subscribe, and I am gonna give her a thumbs up. I'm not gonna comment though, not right now. But I do want to have a quick look over here and see what it's looking like for. They just had their turtle days. So we missed it, folks. It was last week. Or the week before last week. Obviously, it's going to be all about Oscar in here. The story, the mystery of Turtletown, USA. That takes you to their wiki page, I guess. And this one. Yeah, that's the statue I was talking about, though. That one right there. It's super cute. Really cartoonized. It looks like the turtle they used to, like, remember those commercials where they like, oh, you want to join this drawing school? And they'd send you the picture of the turtle to draw, and you send it back. Turn myself up or the video down. Well, I'm done with the video. But am I really quiet? I hope not. I can bump myself up. I don't want to peek, though, and have my voice all cracking. All right, so time for part 2 of this wild ride, because more recently there's been another giant snapping turtle, not in the Rocky Mountains as this image might imply. Now, this is a real documentary, so I may have some trouble bouncing around in here. So I'm gonna do a few. Look how absolutely massive that is. Look at that. Looks like a goddamn trimmer, like the Trimmers monsters.
What in the hell?
It is an alligator snapping turtle. I'm almost 100% on that. Whether it's a real specimen or a replica, yeah, it could be a graboid. The thing about alligator snapping turtles is they don't generally hunt on the banks. They have a lure on the inside of their tongue. They lay on the bottom of a body of water and flick that around and attract fish. They're pescatarian. Now, they will eat other things that get into it, but they're not generally not like a crocodile on the banks grabbing animals coming down for a drink, generally speaking. Oh my goodness, we should probably tackle those at some point too, these Viking artifacts in the New World. Some of them are fake, some of them are real, but depends on how far they are from. Yeah. Anyway, they're gonna get caught up on that for a minute.
Really amazing. It's a stone they found in Minnesota in 1898.
And I guess we should visit Lake Minnetonka now. So, zoom all the way out. Oh. Straighten yourself out. And then we're going to go all the way up here to Minneapolis and Lake Minnetonka. Lake Minnetonka is actually a lake. So that's different, right? Didn't see that coming. Where can we drop down to see the water best? Can we see the water from here? Yeah. Okay, that'll work. So, yeah, there's the lake. It's an actual lake with home for turtle, and it's big and expansive. It's everything you expect out of your lake, littered with islands. Brian, it doesn't move as far as I can see. So, yeah. Did I get yanked? Am I back? I'm back. Okay. Well, I'm gonna jump ahead anyway, cause hopefully I'm back. Yeah, I can hear myself. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Well, the chicken's gone.
So they set out a trail cam, put some bait, and here's what they captured.
And you can see a pair.
Cars.
Taking the back, plug in the.
It took one
There we
picture.
go.
What in the heck?
There's an eye.
There's an eye. There's its beak.
All right. So this is the picture they got. This is what we're gonna wrap the segment up on too here. So, okay, I was muted for a while. So there's a turtle's eye there. They said, yeah, this is the beak. That'd be the neck and stuff. There's only one picture. There is more to this series, to this Mikinaak series. Or Mikinaak series. And there's like actually a few different channels that
You guys, it all happened like just like it happened in an instant, man.
I mean, just making a road and just feeding as it goes. A lot of people are missing dogs and cats. It comes.
Why would a snapping turtle eat dogs and cats? Stop it.
On the north side. Just let it hibernate. Then it gives us time over the winter time to figure out what to do and how to handle what we're finding. And that's where you just leave it.
Turtle hibernates. We drink beer.
Sounds good.
Yes. Take a little break. I'm in.
I'm not really interested in that though.
And I don't care. Neighbors, the community, because there's always small children on that lake. There's always small children on that beach. And this creature's just going to sit there one day and it doesn't know what it's doing, and all of a sudden it just snatches one. Somebody has to eventually do something, because if you don't, then you're just endorsing what it's going to do.
Turtles do not snatch people off the beach.
I knew the time was ticking.
They've never done that.
We start finding out that he's doing things like putting bait stations out.
Maybe it's you that turns bigger than. How big is this thing? He's shooting a 50 cal.
Species. I've been in the water countless times with them, and I never feel threatened by this species in the water.
You've just provided us with some amazing information. That's been great, because we've been wondering for like the last year about a lot of this stuff, and all of a sudden somebody's sitting here telling us exactly what we kind of wanted to learn. And
Run for him to come in. What we'll do is we'll take this stuff.
Yeah. Oh, they got a big old gun. That's what they need, right? This is what you need for a turtle.
She's loaded already. She loaded?
That's what you need for a turtle, guys.
We'll set this up. Go shoot our special target down there. Anything and everything that we come near. It was just like this massive wallop that hits you. The amount of pressure that comes back from it. And it's just enormous. You know, you keep looking at that thing and you're like, my God. We think that the cloud went a good 100 feet in the air. The full-out explosion radius was intense. It flattened everything near it. When you hunt, you kind of need to know what you're shooting at.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Forests stand still and dark. Rivers bend to the will of man. And the great beasts that once roamed are gone. The wild is falling, silent.
Nestled in the small town of
All right, we're back up. Hopefully you can hear me. Yeah, I am making constant commentary. I did let them talk a little long there about what they were planning on doing. I don't feel like I let that one play very long, but I'm done with that video. Anyway, I do want to, again, reiterate the range of the alligator snapping turtle. Does not actually extend into the area where either of these creatures are sighted, because Busco is north of Fort Wayne, right? And Lake Minnetonka is west of Minneapolis. And as you can see, Fort Wayne and Minneapolis are well outside of the range of the snapping turtles. Now, hypothetically, alligator snapping turtles do live in the Mississippi, so they could travel upstream. There used to be bull sharks that would travel as far upstream as Alton, Illinois, which is pretty damn far upriver. But now, the Mississippi itself is covered with locks. Now, regular snapping turtles live all the way up into Canada. Like there are huge ones. The video I saw of one eating a porcupine was in Ontario. So, somewhere up in here. So yeah, snapping turtles do live up there, and they do have that is their range, but the regular snapping turtle, common snapping turtles, don't exceed 100 pounds, like, ever. As far as I know, there's never been a regular common snapping turtle that's exceeded 70 pounds. I mean, I'm welcome to be proven wrong about that, but that's been my experience. But I also know for a fact that alligator snapping turtles do live in Lake of the Ozarks here. But for some reason, it doesn't include that in their range, which is weird. It actually makes a loop around it, but there are alligator snapping turtles in this huge giant lake here. Yeah. Or alligator snapping turtles. Anyway, what do you guys think about giant snapping turtles? If I'm blurry, let me see if I can unblur myself the old-fashioned way, or you know what? No, that's fine. You're good. All right. Thank you for sticking with me for that. I know they didn't want us to be talking about their turtles, but we did it anyway. We did it anyway. You cannot police me from reviewing your cryptozoological claims, sir. If you're going to make claims that you have footage and videos and pictures of giant snapping turtles in the wild, then you have to allow cryptozoologists who are skeptical of your claims to examine your evidence You can't shut me down and keep copyright striking me. I'm doing this publicly. I don't believe you. I don't believe you about your picture. I think that picture was some sort of model. It didn't look like a real animal. All right, this is the Mikinaak, not Oscar. I believe in Oscar and I love you. I think Oscar was really a giant alligator snapping turtle that was a few 100 pounds that lived in that lake. I believe in Oscar. I don't believe in these guys' Mikinaak evidence. I don't believe in that plaster cast footprints because it looks just so perfect. Just so perfect. Every toe digging into the dirt just right at a straight angle in a clear, nice, muddy patch. It's very suspicious. The second picture, I believe you. Maybe that was a turtle. Maybe it was a turtle. But it's hard to judge the size when it's that close to the camera. But I do want to know what you guys think, though. I do want to know. There are other giant turtles in the cryptozoological sphere, but these two are the most famous. The other one was, again, the Hokkien turtle that was legendary and thought to be a cryptid, and then turned out to be real. And that was going to be included in today's show, but I thought, no, this is Asia. Eventually I'm going to do a video on cryptids that turned out to be real. So I'm not going to do that on this because we do need to take that with a pinch of salt, right? With just a little pinch. Anyway, turtle attached to his foot. What? Are you talking about Jonathan, the old turtle? Yeah, Jonathan's the oldest turtle around, or oldest. Well, I say turtle, and yes, turtles. Tortoises are turtles. Turtles is a clade, and tortoises are a clade nested within turtles. So, if a sea turtle is a turtle, then a tortoise is a turtle. If you get my meaning. Anyhow, yeah, so let me know in your comments down below. Please remember to be kind. Take care, and we will see you next time. All right, live from the Hive audience. Thank you so much for sticking around with me. They try to shut this bitch down. I ain't going down like that. No, we are going to persevere. I am not. I'm going to debunk this nonsense live with whatever it takes. They want to come at me? Come at me. This is my bread and butter. This is how I earn my living right now. So you're going to have to do more than just say, I don't like you. I don't like you talking about my stuff. So I'm going to copyright strike you. Why? I'm judging your footage, your pictures. No. It's not like that. But don't worry, the show's not over. This is just this first part of the show. This is just Cryptic Corner that we've touched on now. We got more show to come, so don't leave. Don't go anywhere. Don't go. Why are you saying see you around, Way Too Human? I'm not leaving yet. I have Sky Trumpets coming up, and that was inspirato from my apostate sister friends. So stick around for that after this koala intermission, and I'm going to switch over because my coffee's gone. All right, I'll see you in a minute.
Koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given. Koala, koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given. Koala, koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given. Koala.
kicked out of the tree. You can come to our tree. Yeah, come to our tree. Poor little thing. There's plenty of trees. Come on. You're a meanie. Hello, my beauties and bees, and welcome to This Week in Weird. This week, we have selected a fun topic, so I'm gonna give it to you like it is. My foray onto the world of the apostate sisters a couple weeks back, we discuss a phenomena, 4TN phenomena called sky trumpets. And I had mentioned that I talked about it briefly long ago, but I'd never done a full segment on it. So here I am doing a full segment on it. Before I go any further, I just want to say, oh my God, D Parks, you are so awesome. D Parks just donated $20 super chat. Won't be shut down, won't be stopped. Yes, that's my motto. I'm not gonna be stopped by the man. It looks better when I have my spiky bracelets on. When I try to debunk their nonsense. But speaking of nonsense, sky trumpets. Let's look. So this phenomena, we're going to have confidential report take us along for the ride. And hopefully they're not using real documentaries from TV that are that gives copyright shit. But anyway, anywho, this is the channel, and this is the kind of stuff they cover. Rise of the Antichrist, the darkness in people, demonic possession, reveal the demon, a man who is face to face with a demon. What could be causing this? People are being attacked by unseen forces. The invasion is here. The confidential report. Yeah. Let's go. Sky trumpets. Up now. That's Godzilla.
That's crazy, man. Man, that's crazy. It's like a trumpet. It's like a judgment trumpet.
According to witnesses all over the world.
Dude, have you ever heard a trumpet? Because that was very bassy for a trumpet. That sounded more like a trombone.
Strange sounds from the sky are continuing to haunt all that witness them, and it does not seem to be ending anytime soon.
Light it up now.
It's
That's crazy, man.
obviously this is Paul Bunyan doing the thing to Babe to turn Babe from a bull to an ox, right? Putting the band on, and that's Babe protesting.
Man, that's crazy. It's like a trumpet. It's like a judgment trumpet.
How? In what way is that foghorn-like sound a judgment trumpet?
According to biblical researchers, these strange sounds may be just the beginning.
Biblical researchers, yo! And then we're gonna have John Goodman.
Where's that sound coming from? The heavenly trumpet sound his name. The one true God comes to rapture.
Hey, that's that Kevin Smith movie. That's like you watch Kevin Smith movies and you're like, yeah, you know, Mallrats, Chasing Amy is probably the most dramatic of them that you can think of, right? And you're like, you know, most of them are really goofy, Jay and Silent Bob and all that. And then you watch this movie and it's like, oh fuck, because this movie is about a doomsday cult, and yeah, it's pretty rough. How does he know what a judgment sounds like? Maybe he got pulled over and had to go to court, Ember. I've been to court before. I know what judgment sounds like. I played the trumpet in high school, first year. I played the trumpet in junior high. I don't play trumpet anymore. I play strings now. My roommate plays trumpet. Ben, Dr. Ben, you know, you were there last night in the side chat. Dr. Ben plays trumpet and sax and clarinet. And we both play tin whistle or in recorder. It's a fart. That makes sense, Sumami. Be like, there was this one time at trumpet camp. Oh my. The sound of judgment is how I look at people. I think you have to be overly superstitious to hear judgment. When the last trump shall sound. Gross. This kind of goes along with the fart magic too. Maybe these are God's farts.
Faith, slay the wicked. Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me?
Those who have witnessed the sound firsthand say that whatever it is sounds like it is coming directly from the sky.
The problem with the sky trumpet videos is they're so easy to fake. All you gotta do is like look up at the sky and keep pointing your camera around at the sky and having other people be all looking up, and then you just make the sound over it in post. That definitely sounds like Godzilla, though. It's clear that these are kaiju. There's going to be a giant kaiju fight over your city. It's Ghidorah and Rodan and Mothra, Godzilla, you know, King Kong, all those guys. That'd be so awesome. God, I would love if kaiju just started fighting. That's what we need. That's what this country needs. Right? Because right now, people need something to be about, because I'm sick of it being me. I'm sick of it being me as a trans woman. So people wants to be united against a common enemy that's not me. How about like giant sky lizards? Yeah, there's sky lizards out there with trumpets. Sure. There it was. Did you see Ghidorah fly by? Where are you, Ghidorah? Some lightning. There it was. Watch. What's next?
Since people first began to hear these strange sounds, the locations have not seemed to have been a factor. From deep in the woods to the center of rural neighborhoods, the sound does not seem to discriminate by location.
It's very deep.
That sounds almost like the distance of someone speaking into a megaphone. So when I lived about 15 miles down this old gravel road, like way out in the country, out in the hills and the bluffs, and have to go through all these stony canyons and up and down rocky bluffs. And anyways, it's way far away from town, but between me and town was the Marion County Fairgrounds. And at night, when you go out during the fair at my house, you could hear the loudspeakers, but you couldn't tell what they were saying. It just sounded like whoa. And it was really kind of creepy, and we were creeped out by it until we asked the neighbors what it was, and like, oh, that's the fair. It's like, oh, okay. 15 miles away on a loudspeaker. I don't know if it's 15 miles, like 10, 12 miles, something like that. I used to kayak the river, but the river bends all over the place and gives you a good 20-mile kayaking experience, which I did solo because I'm insane and I don't recommend doing that. And I did that when I was younger, so I wouldn't do that now. I'm more mature. Question for chat: Is it okay for guys to call female pal? Lately, I've been calling people pal and don't want to be a douche. Excuse my divergence. I don't care if you call me pal. We are pals, John. Did you hear what I said earlier about not being on Facebook or any meta stuff? Right now, I've been suspended. I just wanted to let you know that. I don't know how long it's going to last. It was part of a mass suspension error by their AI bot that they said they're working to fix, but I don't know. So that's why there was no link. The names that I don't like that people tend to use, especially like generation like Zoomers, they call everybody bro or bruh. No, don't call me that. Please do not call me that. I don't mind dude in a colloquial sense that means everybody. Intention really is what's important about it, right? Intention's what matters. Yeah. When you say things. I think it's like mate, yeah. I'm a millennial. I don't like being and to me there's the bro is gendered, right? Bro is not gender neutral to me in my brain. They do sound a lot like kaiju noises, though. I sort of wonder if this is related to. Like some kind of mining operation or something, maybe. A lot of it is intention, Sumami. I do wonder if there's some like fracking equipment or something this can be associated with, or heavy machinery. Because that sounds like metal straining is what it sounds like to me. Wow. Wow, nothing. These are sky trumpets. Doomsday. They think this is the sounds of angels playing their trumpets in heaven or something. I don't know. The judgment is coming.
That's definitely a trumpet. It's like I've seen this.
How is that definitely a trumpet? Have you never heard a trumpet before? The closest thing that it sounds like to me, and maybe somebody does have what are those big horns called? It's not a flugelhorn. Is it flugelhorn? No, flugelhorns are little. The like the Ricola horn. Is it alpine horn? Yeah, alphorn. Alphorn. Hold on. Let's see if we can find somebody playing an alphorn.
C'est très convivial, c'est vraiment.
It's a feeling like.
De l'étranger aussi. Ou...
What's the one you think it sounds like? Dung Chin. Let's try that one. Look at the size of that. Huge, right? So, if their neighbor's playing one of those, or somebody's playing one of those at a festival, you know, on the other side of the mountain.
I heard it. Y'all need to shut that door or something. Get the light up or something.
This honestly sort of makes me want to get a dungchin or an alphorn or a didgeridoo and freak my neighbors out.
I really hope that's not a tornado. I don't think it is.
A trumpet. That's not a trumpet, dude. You never heard a trumpet in your life.
Despite the numerous times the strange sounds have been heard, to this day, not a single person has confirmed the source of the sounds. But that has not stopped the growing amount of speculation surrounding the source of the sounds. Theories range from underground tunneling to the idea that maybe HAARP is to blame. Although the main theory still remains.
What happens when a HAARP collides with a CERN? That's when it opens up the portals. That's when Jesus comes back. That's when Jesus comes back. Maybe they live near a Buddhist temple. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There could a lot of factors. Maybe there's a Bavarian festival going on in the next town over, right? Or maybe someone's just literally rehearsing with their alphorn for a Bavarian festival up, on the roof of their apartment building or something in their backyard. You get DARPA when you mix CERN and HAARP together.
To be number one on the list. And that is the theory, that these sounds are coming from above, like a warning bell ready to be rang.
No more fire and brimstone, preacher! What does that sound mean?
Well, boy, there ain't nothing left but fire and brimstone.
Guess y'all get right.
Fire and brimstone. Them trumpets gonna be blowing on Judgment Day. You don't want to be on Jesus' shit list.
And this has been happening all day. If I ain't right with the Most High, I suggest y'all get right with the Most High, because that's a trumpet.
It's not a trumpet. Why is there always someone saying that's a trumpet? It's not a trumpet. But the idea that, because someone knowing how to play one of these big horns has to practice. But I did notice that there's a trend of this being all during bad weather. And I don't know if the wind could pass through something that shapes just right to make that sound as well. Something built just right to cause it to whistle like that. But that sounds like maybe like a drawbridge being raised up or something like that. I mean, a lot of like heavy machinery pulling with cables and a lot of metal rubbing together and stuff. And maybe when the clouds are just low enough for the resonation to cause I'm just speculating on different things. You were able to get footage of them eating. Awesome.
Can't you hear? It's the Lord's day of judgment.
Ricola. But this is a nice blue sky day. Sunny. Birds are singing.
What? It's coming from the sky.
What is that?
The hell is that?
He's tuning his alphorn. Leave him alone. We're talking about just the rumble? Oh, there it is. I'm gonna lotion my feet because they're starting to get super dry. So that's what I'm doing down here. I'm not doing anything nefarious. Oh, that was more of a thunderous sound. Drums. Sky drums. a big old bass drum. It's like a timpani.
Yo, what is this sound? This is crazy. Sound been going off for like
See that we have the horns, we have the drums, and these sound like
a
cymbals.
minute or so. What the hell?
It definitely sounds like something crashing in the distance.
Creepy.
That one sounded like sirens. Oh, beyond the sirens. I kind of wonder, hearing the sirens, if, again, with the low cloud bank that we're looking at here, if that's not the sirens reverberating down at a lower, a lower pitch, getting bounced back to it. What do you guys think? Now that you mention it, it does sound like when the wind goes through a truck stop just right, trailers do make some noise, do make those noises, right? Especially like big empty trailers and stuff. Sky Trumpets is just an elaborate Ricola commercial. Got to get back to the rock. Dave sounds right, pile driver. And John Hudson, did you say something about calling me? I don't, what app can I give you my number on? I don't want to put my number out publicly. But yeah, I wouldn't mind you if you wanted to call me. It's no problem if we got something to talk about. Yep. I don't know if you're on Discord. Regardless, we have mutuals that we could communicate through. If anything, I could give Ember Ember my number. I think Ember has my number. Steph does too, and Maya, and Sandy. So there's a few places you can get my number, but I'm not going to drop it in the chat or anything.
Strange sounds are being heard around the world. In Sweden, this sure sounds like a trumpet. In Michigan, another trumpet-like sound.
Do these people not know what a trumpet sounds like? That's even the lowest note on a trumpet is nowhere near this, how bassy this is. Once a power line got knocked down at the end of our driveway by a tree, the sound it made was like a house-sized sheet of metal being wobbled. Then it smelled like ozone. Yeah, my brother told me about a time that he was on a gravel road by a power station or whatever. They were just smoking some weed out there when they were teenagers, and one of the transformers blew up and made like a boom sound. Yeah. Think it's a coyote?
In British Columbia, Canada, Dr. Glenn McPherson says he heard a strange humming sound in his home. At first, he thought it was an appliance.
Ultimately, I cut the power to the entire house.
A mysterious sound heard through parts of Fort Greene, Brooklyn has been driving some people, we are told, crazy.
Yeah, it's maddening.
It is the sound of Jesus. It's the judgment, the righteous judgment of the Lord. He's coming for you. And you make sure you're right with Jesus, because he's coming back.
It's unsettling, and it's also just this mystery because nobody seems to know what is causing this strange humming sound. CBS 2's Kevin Rincon gives us a listen.
It's profoundly annoying.
As you hear the noise, it's hard to make out what it is.
It sounds like somebody putting their finger on a glass cup and running it around the top of the cup.
It sounds very much like a resonance, a harmonic resonance, like if you can picture someone rubbing the top of a crystal glass or a tuning fork.
What does that sound? Mo Hussein, he took video walking home one night. He's noticed the sound for over a year.
I liken it to like some sort of alien invasion as you're walking around.
It seems like this might be the wind passing through, like maybe there was some new construction forcing the wind to pass through a certain gap a certain way that's causing it to sing.
Even in the middle of the night, you hear this hum off in the background and you wonder what could that be?
You know, I thought about that. And they're only landing in the middle of the night.
For Adrena Banks, her theory, it's construction related, but admits it could be anything.
It's just this consistent humming that doesn't seem to go away and goes on for hours. It's so piercing that it keeps you up.
Neighbors called 311, but when the city's Department of Environmental Protection showed up...
Yeah, I could see that too, like a train braking some miles away, resonating. I could see that being the cause for some of this. That's a good thought on it. Yeah.
The sound had stopped. We reached out to the DEP several times on Thursday, and they now say they plan to return to try and find the source of the nuisance.
As soon as you think, okay, well, now I've gotten used to it, now I'm ready to live my life with this noise, then it goes away. And you're like, oh, that's great, and then it comes back.
And the timing of it makes me sort of believe that, at times anyway, makes me sort of believe that there's some sort of equipment being run, and they sort of try to turn it off and on in ways that don't disrupt people.
Some residents, they've turned to online forums to mark when the noise starts and stops, but tracking it isn't easy.
Like bass notes they disperse easily, but they're hard to pinpoint. And this sound has that quality of like, ooh, that's really hard to locate.
So, as we conclude this video, the question remains, what is causing this sound?
Kaiju. You think it's Jesus, but I think it's Godzilla. We'll have Godzilla versus Jesus and let them fight it out and see who wins. I don't know what your guy got. Mine has atomic breath, though. I'm pretty sure your guy got taken down with some with some nails and a piece of wood and a couple of pieces of wood. So Godzilla survived a lot more.
Now being heard around the world. Could it be that we have come to the end of our rope here on Earth? Have we pushed past the point of acceptance from those above? In other words, is the book about to be closed on humanity?
One can only hope the book's about to be closed on humanity. But I digress.
Make sure to leave a comment below and let us know what you believe these strange sounds really are. Until next time, thank you for watching The Confidential Report.
And he closes the book on this wicked! Wow! Praise his name!
This has been The Confidential Report. For even more stories like this one, make sure to subscribe to our channel today.
Yeah,
and please
we're not
show your
done
support
yet.
by clicking the like button.
These might... there might be some duplicates, but we're watching more Sky Trumpets. From Screaming Skies! There might be... some of these might be the same ones, but there should be some different ones in here, too. That really does sound like a didgeridoo.
Oh, this is scary.
That's the same one we watched a minute ago, but... I'm gonna not really want an Alporn because I want to fuck with the people of El Paso. Be like, oh, the end times. It's the end times. And I'll just be out in the backyard. So I like a didgeridoo better, I think. I think I love a didgeridoo better than a Alporn. What was the Chinese woman? Cheng. What was that called, Sue? I like the roars here.
What does that sound? Holy shit!
Czechoslovakia. Some of this really does just sound like they're using audio clips from the Godzilla movies. I'm not even joking. That's exactly what it sounds like. That sounds like something being dropped miles away, too. Like a bridge horn, yeah. Or a barge horn, yeah. And a distant barge horn for real. And yeah, some of it sounds like maybe what a train would sound like breaking in the distance. A freaking dump truck dropping a load of rocks 4 miles down the road. All kinds of stuff could account for these sounds. My lash was misbehaving. That sounds like a dog barking to me. Other than that, maybe a highway.
I don't fucking get it. It sounds like it's right there.
That sounds like the rumble of a highway. Just like the distant rumble of a highway.
My ears. Yeah, it's so deep.
Or a train track.
Very strange.
Oh my god. Look how low it is. Oh my god. What is it?
I don't know. I'm getting it on camera.
That one I think is a horn.
I never saw clouds like this before.
That sounds like an alp horn.
Oh my. This is too strange. I'm too scared, Tony. Too scared.
I know.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Should we go in hiding?
I don't know, but the sound's getting higher.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Check that cloud. Oh my god. It's rolling.
It's too scary.
Oh my god.
It's scary.
We hear the trumpet.
Yeah, I know.
It's not a trumpet. I swear nobody on here has ever heard a trumpet in their life. None of these people have ever heard what a trumpet sounds like, or they have like a weird idea of what a trumpet sounds like, or they think something else is what a trumpet sounds like. Trumpets are not generally a low-ranged instrument because they're small. And do I need to explain sound? My audience knows about sound dynamics. Dude, I don't need to explain it to you, but there's a reason why the bass instruments are bigger than the other instruments, right? There's a reason why a cello is this freaking tall, and a violin can fit under your chin. There's a reason why a timpani is as big as my bed. There's a reason why a tuba or a flugelhorn wraps around the tuba player. That's the big bass version of the tuba that goes around. Yeah, there's a reason why they're so huge, because you need big instruments to create big sounds, and trumpets are generally quite small by comparison. And these notes that they're hitting here are not notes that you would associate with a trumpet if you knew anything about musical instruments.
I'm gonna go hide.
Oh my god. Let's get in the house.
I'm gonna go. Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Are those freaking coyotes? Why you got cages full of coyotes for? That sounded like a crane. Like the I don't know if y'all ever like been on a construction site where you hear the crane reeling up the load, and the bigger, the heavier the load that's pulling up, the louder the crank is. But if that's reverberating down like an alleyway or down something channeling it down a street, it's going to sound like that. And it's going to change pitches as the load moves up the road or as it elevates, I guess, or as it rises in elevation. As less, just like tightening a string on a guitar or shortening a string on a guitar, right? That's why when you put your fingers in different places, it makes different sounds. The same thing happens with a cable pulling a heavy load up on a crane or a winch or a lull. It will, as the distance between the spool and the object gets smaller, it's just like sliding your finger down on a guitar string. That reverberation gets tighter and the note gets higher. That's what that sounds like to me. But that's a siren of some kind right there. Like a foghorn siren. There. Hive side. They're not equating them to musical instruments per se. They think it's a group of angels ushering in the end times. Maybe they're saying Trumpets. Oh, I get that. Yeah, that they're those long things that the angels blow on. What are those? They're basically bugles, like long bugles things. But anyway, yeah. Where was I? People are just too stuck to TVs and cell phones. They never listen to what the sounds of human bustling around during the day sounds like. That explains why a lot of these noises sound like farts, Maya. Exactly. The loudest horn player in Germany. Have you ever eaten food so spicy that your farts usher in the end times? The more I listen to this, the more I'm convinced that these are winches. A lot of these are winches that we're hearing pulling cables, and as the cable and the change in the pitch is the cable pulling tighter and it's getting shorter to the spool. That's my pet theory. I think my pet theory holds up a lot better than angels blowing trumpets in the sky. All right, John, you have a good one. We still got 45 more minutes of show to go. Now that sounds like they're testing the siren system right there. I think this one might be my favorite. I can feel it. That's an air raid siren, you think? Oh, the last one, yeah. That definitely sounds like air passing through some kind of tube. I'm even pretty sure I can tell that the tube it's passing through is plastic. And if you know what I'm talking about, like blow through like a PVC pipe. There's lots of instruments you can make with a PVC pipe or bang two PVC pipes together. You know, anytime I've ever heard a weird sound or saw something weird in the distance or whatever, I usually go on social media and be like, hey, anybody else have this experience? And then someone will be like, oh yeah, they're testing the sirens out at the power plant. Or, oh, good example was the Starlink launch that I saw. I witnessed the Starlink launch, the very first one back in like, I don't know what year it was, like 2016 or something like that. Saw it going up in the sky. I know it was later than that, it was like 2020. And thought I was witnessing some sort of extraterrestrial phenomenon. Got all excited, went inside and checked and found out what it was. Yeah, this is this. I don't blame you for turning the sound off, John. This video's if you're just doing audio. Yeah. If you really thought it was the end of times, you would think you would be motivated enough to go see the angels. Why do angels sound like rusty metal gates swinging?
Dude.
So funny, everybody looks up like the sky doesn't have atmosphere that reverberates sound back down to you. Like the sound has to be coming from something up there. It can't be coming from something that's down here, you know, out of sight, beyond your line of sight, hitting the atmosphere and bouncing back down at them. Nope, it has to be something. The source has to be up there. This is like normal people, though, you know. But this is the one that makes me think you could fake this so easy just by having a group of people like stare at the sky all weirded out and then put sound effects over it.
It's weird. I've never heard anything like that before. Where's it coming from?
From Gojira. You see Gojira come stomping across the horizon. There's his footsteps. Holy shit, hold on. What?
I wonder what that's about.
I've seen fireworks do that before. I always thought when the clouds look like this, it looks like when you if any of y'all ever prepared fish, looks exactly like fish meat, right? Am I right? Like pre-cooked fish meat.
You see that light? Guys, there's a light.
Finally.
It's not moving either.
I think that's just a star, though. Or maybe the sun on a cloudy day. It's kind of small for the sun, but I guess it could be. And to hear the angels singing in heaven. Remember when I did the God's Chorus crickets? Y'all remember that? Let me see if I can find the video. No, I'm not going to do it in this. For fluff's sakes. God's chorus of crickets. Bum, 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 bum. Here we go. Here, I'm gonna drop this in the chat because this sounds very similar. Which was the sounds of crickets chirping sped up. My speculation, if I actually heard this, would be that there was a chorus singing somewhere. Right? They're gonna walk out on the edge of the cloud there and look down. That'd be cool. He's hoping they will, at least. He's like, come on. Walk to the edge, Michael and Gabriel. Show your faces. What do y'all think? Is them angels singing? Now, there's another video they say is angels singing, but it might be the same. This might be the same video. Let me see. It is. Okay. So, when it comes to that... By the way, this CrypticCorner video did awful yesterday. The California Crocomander. I don't know why, but yeah, if you can go watch it, it only got 23 views. Is the thumbnail bad? I thought the thumbnail was cute. I've been doing this like charcoal style art. With black and white pictures and overlaying them. Anyway, the reason I brought up this, let's listen to this real quick, because this is allegedly crickets sped up. Obviously, this is they edited this. It's been debunked. I debunked it on that video. I just linked if you want to watch the whole thing. But it almost sounds like they used the same track. Doesn't it? Tell me if it sounds the same to you. As I'm crazy, that's fine. And then obviously they overlaid the regular cricket sound too here. I wonder if they have one without the cricket sound. Hold on. Do they? All right, and then. So, certainly you all can at least pick up on some of the subtle similarities there between the recording of the God's Chorus crickets and the alleged sky trumpets of the global phenomena of sky trumpets, right? Well, so that was brought to us by, well, this one wasn't confidential file. This was a channel called Glow, which is a Rapture and Immaculate Landing, Jerusalem UFO, giant skeletons, lots of Rapture stuff here. Rapture times just around the corner. Spirit orbs, we just covered that recently. Yeah. Suicides in Search of Heaven. Oh. Yikes on bikes. This channel hasn't put anything out for a few years, though. So maybe they did get raptured. Maybe they finally got raptured. I hope so. That seems to be what they wanted. So, if that's what happened, then I'm glad for you. If not, God lover. Yeah. Then this channel says, God lover, we are simply in love with the Creator God. There are priceless and everlasting reward. Okay, yeah. So that's the kind of people that are putting this content out, just to give you to give you a feel, to give you a vibe for it. See what you think. All right, so. I mean, what do you guys think of sky trumpets? Are they like a real phenomena? Is there something actually happening there? Is it an assortment of other phenomena and weather activity corresponding with phenomena? You let me know in the comments down below. I really enjoyed covering this, and it did put things into a perspective of what people mean when they say sky trumpets. I was being too judgmental to say, oh, it's not what trumpet sounds like. They don't care. They don't care. Just any kind of sound in the sky. Sky trumpets. All right. So please remember to be kind. Take care. And we'll see you next time. Live from the Hive audience. Don't go anywhere, because there's more show to come. Not much more show to come, but some more show to come. I'm going to be discussing the domestication of camels. So if that's like something you might be into, stick around and we'll crack that open. But I'm going to take a quick intermission, so I got to go to the bathroom, and then I'll be right back. Hello, hello, my beauties and bees, and welcome to another installment of Bree's Bestiary. Today, we are going to just look at a little snippet of how camels and llamas changed human history. So I hope that's something you're interested in, because it's what I got for you. I love camelids, and I love llamas have a special place in my heart. My youngest son was like so into llamas for so long. We had llama everything.
Where are camels originally from? The Middle East? No. Central Asia, maybe? No. The correct answer is actually Canada. That's right, the icon of the desert traces its origins to what is now the Canadian Arctic territories. The Yukon, giant camels, along with other species which roam what is now the Yukon Territory in Alaska, with humps to store fat reserves during the harshest winters, as well as large hooves for walking across the snow, once crossed the land bridge into Siberia. These early camels would not...
And those features were great for desert, too. It's weird that we don't have any... Well, I guess the Bactrian camel does live in like the Mongolian desert, which gets really cold. Most deserts do get cold, actually, but it kind of makes me sad that we don't have camels living up with like the musk ox and stuff, like they did during the Pleistocene.
Realize that their builds would be excellent for the opposite of the extreme winters that they lived in. The deserts of the old world would become their new home. Moving away from the boreal forests of what are now Russia to the desert steppes of Mongolia resulted in two-humped Bactrian camels. And eventually, many of these creatures would spread into the sand dunes of Arabia and the Sahara, resulting in the one-humped dromedary camel. Now, that doesn't mean that all the camels migrated through the land bridge into the old world. Another group of these camels would move southward into the Andes of South America, resulting in the vicuña, the alpaca, and most famously, the llama. The llama and the camel, these two...
Gosh, I love them. They're so cute. They're like giant long-necked grumpy bunnies. I want one. I think I would just be happy if I could just have a llama.
Long lost...
My life would change for the better.
Cousins would shape the old world and the new world. This is a story of how these two relatives would respectively shape not only their own paths but the paths of human history. Early camels were creatures from the Americas, which invaded the old world of Afro-Eurasia. Humans, on the other hand, were old world creatures, native to Africa.
So to a camel, North America is the old world. And Asia is the new world.
Invaded the new world through a land bridge. Same path the camels took, just in the reverse direction. And when they crossed paths in the camels' native homeland, it didn't come to a surprise, as they took a liking to these creatures. In fact, they took a liking too much by hunting them and eating them.
Well, are camels delicious? When's the last time you had some delicious camel meat? Huh?
As a result, their populations declined, most likely due to hunting by humans. These human ancestors were the ancestors of the Native Americans. The camels, which escaped to the old world, would get a far better...
Well, they've been like Clovis people and things like that. Groups like that. We don't know necessarily if the modern Native Americans have direct descendants from the Clovis folk, because we just have mostly their technology and stuff.
Deal.
Well, we have there's some human remains as well. I think there's even some infant remains.
Forming a certain close set of relationships with the bipedal apes. The one-hump variety in what is now the Middle East was domesticated as far back as 6,000 years ago, and camels, by and large, are still domesticated in this region continuously to this day, to the point that there aren't too many wild populations.
Well, even a wild population of dromedaries is feral. There's no... They're like modern horses. There's no actual wild population that's like indigenous, and like the wild population is extinct. It's the same species. Not quite as diverged as the auroch, which was the ancestor of modern cattle.
Probably happened again as far back as 6,000 years ago, which makes the domestication relatively recent compared to chickens, pigs, and most of all dogs. On top of that...
Well, everything looks recent compared to dogs. Dogs were domesticated like 30,000 years ago, and then the next domestication was goats, which was like 12,000 years ago. So, huge difference. We domesticated dogs tens of thousands of years before anything else. Because dogs are our good buddies. That's why dogs are the most divergent from their ancestral line and appearance and genomics too. But the dogs have such super plastic genes, so are super plastic. Let me rephrase this: the dogs, canines, have a lot of plasticity in their genes, which makes it capable to sculpt them. There's camels, you see, are pretty standardized models. We got some color variation.
That some of the earliest civilizations were in the Middle East. Camels would be great for surviving high temperatures, storing fat during times of scarcity, and could move long distances without frequently drinking water. This made them essential for various nomadic desert-dwelling peoples to be used.
I want a black camel. Oh my gosh, I want a black camel.
As beasts of burden, transportation, meat, milk, clothing, and leather. To these desert
why do they got ropes across their buttholes though? That would put, well, I guess I kind of have a rope across my butthole too. Yeah, I'll allow it.
Dwellers, life was impossible without the camel. It would not be until another couple thousand years in which camels would be utilized for the military, at least on a mass scale. The earliest written accounts of the camels in warfare date back to ancient Assyria, when they clashed with early Arab tribes mounted on camels. At the time, the Arabs were a relatively primitive set of tribal groups on the fringes of Mesopotamia and were not unified. Little did the urban-dwelling Mesopotamians know at the time, but the Arabs, with the help of their camels, would one day become their successor civilization. The relationship between Arab Bedouins and their camels is one of central to their history, far more so than it is to the ancient Mesopotamians.
Look at that neck. I really want a black camel now. It's a thong, yeah. Take me to Fossil Rim, please. My greatest regret is never having one. You've never had your own dog? That's sad. We got a dog here named Henry. He's a cutie pie. He's not my dog. He's Ben's dog, but we all like spend time with him and stuff and play with him and feed him. And
or without them, Arab civilization would probably not exist to any significant degree. And by and large, the camel has become an icon of this region around the world. Both the Persians and the Romans, as well as the Roman successors, the Byzantines of the East, used camels in warfare to fight each other in the deserts. Both of them.
What a weird depiction. Is this scale right? This area that says in flux, north of let's say so. Armenia's here. I guess this would be like Turkey, but it seems like they've like made it a lot bigger than it actually was. I don't know. That map doesn't look right to me, but
them would eventually be crushed by a massive wave of camel-backed Arabian cavalry. This was particularly embarrassing since the Arabs were seen as being backward, yet they crushed far more supposedly advanced civilizations. These Arabs weren't just an ethnic group, but the bringers of a message, and that message was Islam. The combination of the horse and camel cavalry helped
true story, Islam spread on the back of a camel.
Prophet Muhammad, as well as the Rashiduns, his successors, along with other successors.
Well, it depends on if you consider llamas, if you consider the South American camelids camels. Because if so, then 5 times. Because you got dromedary, Bactrian, llama, Venuku, and guanaco.
Afterwards, such as the Umayyad caliphates, to conquer wide swaths of land, crushing weaker states. While Islam is one of the most human-centered religions in the world, it does place a great deal of importance on the camel in times of both peace and warfare, and are widely respected. The Prophet Muhammad...
I smoke 2 joints in time of peace and 2 in time of war. I smoke 2 joints before I smoke 2 joints, and then I smoke 2 more.
...had a particular liking for camels. They are also considered halal, meaning that you can eat them under Islamic dietary restrictions, and this was important given the desperation of desert life. A notion that, while sad, for vegans does make sense. The mass utility of these creatures helps spread Islam.
Baby, I would never eat you. Don't be making silly faces trying to convince me not to eat you. I would never. You are so cute. Look, it's like, this is the derpiest. I love it. Oh, he's so derpy. I want to boop him. Look at his little teeth. My bottom teeth are kind of crooked too. See? I can do that too.
Islam into becoming what is now the second largest religion in the world. Another species of camel that would change the world in its own way, although to a lesser degree.
I think to a greater degree, because this motherfucker was the primary mode of transportation on the goddamn Silk Road. The only other animal more important to this era of human development, which was global trade, the expanse of global trade. Only other animal more important to transit than the backstream camel was arguably the horse. But I digress.
Were the Central Asian 2-humped Bactrian camels. These were camels that moved caravans across much of the Silk Road. They occasionally were rode as a status symbol, but were not utilized for mass military purposes due to their smaller size. The Mongols, after all, preferred their horses. They were spared the deaths on the battlefield, unlike those horses and their 1-humped counterparts, mostly moving pack goods along trade routes throughout the deserts.
Yeah, they're this is the quintessential caravan animal, right? This was the animal that connected the East, which is, East Asia, China, Japan, India, Indonesia, all these places with exotic spices and silk and all this different materials and foods. This is they were carrying culture. They were carrying. That's the best way to put it. They were carrying a culture from the Far East into the West. Like our first batches of silk and cinnamon and all this exotic vanilla arrived on the back of these camels. Just really cool to think of.
Grasslands. On the other side of the world, their family overseas, the llamas and alpacas, would seek refuge along the Rocky Mountains of the South American Andes in what is now Peru, Ecuador, Bolivia, and Chile. Human populations would move south.
Chile.
Towards as well, eventually domesticated the llama for meat, as well as for wool, which was used to provide warmth in the cool alpine climates.
Look at the baby!
They also served as pack animals to carry goods across the tough mountain terrain. In many
There's a baby llama. That's a pooping nose. Oh, so cute.
ways, the llama played as a functional role in Andean civilization, similar to what the camel played in various Middle Eastern civilizations. Llamas fed, clothed, and provided a network of logistics and goods for transportation for the massive Incan Empire, which stretched.
And they were pack animals too, but they carried stuff north to south. Llama baby. I know, right?
Across much of the mountain ranges, along with deserts and even jungles. This was quite impressive for a state that did not have wheels or a written language. However, if you had to pick between the camel or the llama, you really would just have to pick the camel. Llamas are much weaker than camels and can't carry the same load. Alpacas are even smaller. This limited the amount of goods.
But they have better wool than camels. You can actually... Alpacas have sheep-like wool, so you can make clothes out of it too. I'm not saying you can't make things out of camel fur. The paintbrushes are, I think, yeah, I got camel hair brush right here. This one's camel hair. Yep.
goods and people that could move around at a period of time.
Having llamas and alpacas is better than having nothing, than having no draft animals at all. These were the only draft animals in North America, other than dogs, used for draft purposes. So yeah, maybe, camels are better because they're bigger and stronger. Sure, camels are better than most things at packing. Actually, I can't think of anything that's better at packing stuff than camels. Nothing is better at packing stuff than camels. So that's no shade to the llamas and alpacas, right? Because camels can carry, like, the next best thing to and I'm saying per their own weight even, would be horses maybe, but no, they can't carry anything close to what close to what a camel can carry. Camel can carry like 5 times. When we did the Red Ghost episode about the camel corpse in the southern United States, we talked about how much more camel can carry than a mule, right? Or than a donkey or a mule. So it's no shade that the best pack animal on earth is better than you at packing stuff. So llama, no shade at all. We appreciate that you were able to carry your loads up and down the Andes Mountains, right?
Which had resulted in many of these New World peoples being fairly, for lack of a better word, backward compared to the Old World. Cavalry was also out of
There's a lot of better words than to call freaking indigenous South American people backward, right? There's better words that you can say. Had a less developed industry, maybe. Backwards, though. Nice word choice. What is this channel? I'm kind of a...
The question is, llamas can't carry an adult human on their
because there's no lack of a better word. Did you try to find a better word?
backs. When the Spanish arrived, their horses were very useful for conquering the Incan Empire. Incan soldiers didn't know how to react to cavalry, and instead of holding their ground, as they should have, they fled, and eventually got mowed down by the horsemen.
I would flee too, because whether you stand your ground or flee, you're going to get mowed down by the horsemen.
Spanish brought horses for riding along with mules and donkeys, which proved to be stronger, replacing the llamas. However, keeping close to their culture, Andean people have continued to raise llamas, being replaced by old world pack animals and later by actual automobiles. Llamas, by and large, were mostly used in the most remote, poorest areas of the Andes. They also are still used for meat to this day, and most of all wool, as llama and alpaca wool is much better quality than that of most sheep wool. While modernity has rendered llamas to be glorified sheep in the New World, camels would still be utilized in the modern world of warfare. Various Middle Eastern, Indian, and European colonial militaries put them to use on arid battlefields. Their use for transportation before the mass production of four-wheel drive automobiles pushed the British to import them to Australia, which they were never native to. These camels carried loads across the Australian desert environment, but were eventually abandoned and replaced by engines. To this day, Australia has a massive feral camel population that wreaks havoc on the environment. Oftentimes,
well, it's a good environment for them, and here's where things get kind of here we get into a little bit of a gray area about invasive species, right? So Australia had its megafauna wiped out, right? All the animals over 90 kilograms, basically all the terrestrial animals over 90 kilograms wiped out, which is bad for the environment. It's bad for Australia. It's bad for the continent as a whole. So introducing an alternative stock like camels and feral horses, like a Brumby, which is what they call their Mustangs, is a viable option. So they are there wreaking havoc. I mean, they're filling an ecological niche that's open right now because we wiped out all the megafauna.
by eating certain types of shrubs and not having any natural predators. On a positive note, their most iconic role in modern warfare was during the Arab Revolt against the German-backed Ottoman Turks during World War I. This is the story of Lawrence of Arabia. With the help of camel cavalry, the Bedouin tribes would push back the Ottoman Turkish soldiers, leading to the collapse of the Ottoman Empire in part, as well as the coming European colonization of Arabia after the war.
Yeah, the Ottoman Empire had been in power for centuries, so it was a big deal that they were defeated this way. Sure.
However, today camels mostly play a ceremonial role in various militaries in the Middle East, North Africa, and the Indian subcontinent.
Dingoes can hunt their the babies, but due to how aggressive camels are, their success rate is probably quite low.
To this day, camels are used less for their essential roles and more for racing and secondary milk production. Camel milk is
who wants some camel milk?
Lower in fat and higher in vitamins. However, due to lower yields per animal and smaller economies of scale, camel milk is pretty expensive and not widely used outside of nomadic people groups. A typical grocery store in the Middle East will have far more cow milk available than camel milk, as well as far more beef, lamb, and chicken than camel meat. Furthermore, much to my own disappointment, the dish...
Look at that! That's so cute. It's this kid can't be more than 6, and then like a 2 or 3 year old sitting on their lap.
Composed of a camel, stuffed with a goat, stuffed with a sheep, stuffed with a chicken, is for the most part an urban legend and not a particularly popular widespread custom in the Middle East.
Yikes!
Looking back at all of this, both llamas and camels were creatures that were utilized by humans, but then replaced with other animals such as the horse and donkey, and then later by camels and sheep. And then those animals in turn were replaced by machinery.
Did you say they replaced camels with camels?
The influence of both of these creatures has been crested. It still lives on, not only in the lives of their biological descendants, but in how they've shaped our historical journey. Thanks for watching.
I'm kind of curious as to how things would have developed had we not had an industrial revolution, you know? What direction things would have taken. I was going to say, hey, let's subscribe to this channel because it's a small channel. And this was a new video. It has less than 1,000 views. And the channel's only 1,400 subscribers. I didn't like what he said about, for lack of a better word, that Native Americans were backwards, though. Because I don't think that that's true. I don't think that they lacked a better word. Let's look and see what else kind of content he has, though. How powerful is the Vatican? Gems of Google Map, Australia and the Pacific. Oh, that's a Google Map stuff, which I like too. How powerful is South Korea? Can the U.S. remain the world's superpower? I don't think we are anymore. I don't think we have been since the late 90s. I think China kind of took over. So, yeah, it's actually just the irony of me saying that. Yeah, geopolitical space. I don't know. Breeze bestiary has to be, would have to be distributed on Camelback. You think so? All right, so that was, the history of the domestication and utilization of camelids throughout human history. I hope you enjoyed this little installment of Breeze Bestiary, and that maybe you'll come back and see me again next week. I don't know what we're doing next week. I may do that turtle. Not sure yet. But regardless, I hope you do decide to come back. And I appreciate everybody for sticking around as well. Please remember to be kind. Take care, and we'll see you next time. All right, live from the Hive audience. We are just about at the 3-hour mark. I didn't have anything. I didn't see a lot of options to send you guys to when I was looking. So I do have it's shooting you all over to Aaron Ra's stream. If you don't want to go there, that's fine. I understand that some people aren't into that. I don't really do counter-apologetic stuff anymore either. And I'm still friends with Aaron, and we'll send some send some love his way, and to Peter, who's the producer over there. I have been considering getting into producing myself. I think I could handle some a workload of channels to produce for, whatever kind of rate. I don't know what the going rate would be or anything like that. I haven't put that much thought into it, but I'm considering it, and I was talking to Ben about it, so we'll see. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up here. And hope everybody has a lovely weekend ahead. And hope you're all very kind and you all take very good care. And hopefully you come back next week and we see you on the next episode of the 14 Files. But yeah, love ya.
Oh, well, looky here. Another bird for me to tear to shreds. I love these stupid things. Well, let's go get him. It's weird. I keep getting closer, but he's not getting any smaller. Must be an optical illusion. What the hell is that on his face? An axe? Well, no, I wasn't looking at you. I was looking over there. What is that, a squirrel? Yeah, over there. Oh, yeah. Yeah, buddy, I wasn't looking at you. Yeah. Go ahead there, eat up. Oh, yeah. No, don't worry. Oh, no, don't mind me. I'm sitting here just shitting on myself.
With all the noise, pseudoscience, and political rhetoric clogging the airwaves about transgender people, it can be difficult to understand what's really happening and what's really true. Good news, everyone! Welcome to The Transpositions, your compass in the rugged landscape of transgender issues. Here, we strive to be the beacon of authenticity, providing a platform that amplifies the voices and experiences of the transgender community. From breaking news to in-depth features to breaking down the real science, we are committed to fostering understanding, empathy, and empowerment for all individuals across the gender spectrum. Join us as we navigate the complexities, celebrate the triumphs, and advocate for the rights of transgender people worldwide. Together, we can redefine boundaries, challenge stereotypes, and champion inclusivity. Subscribe today. The link is in the description.